Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why the narcissist remains trapped. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So many times people, when they're in the relationship and at times post-relationship until they break all the ties with the narcissist, they feel like they're trapped. And you would be right, you were trapped, specifically when you were in the relationship and throughout the body of that relationship, and many times post-relationship until you get the message and you go no contact and you heal properly. But that is one part of your journey. The narcissist journey is a little bit different. You see, they are trapped in the cycle. They've always been in the cycle, and they always will be in the cycle. You have the ability to escape, to get out, to heal, to learn, to grow, to become awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you have the ability to process things, to slow your life down, to understand that that relationship was what it was. It wasn't what you wanted it to be. And when you do that, you practice radical acceptance. You come to grips and to terms that the narcissist is who they are. They won't change. They won't improve. They will only deteriorate over time. They will get worse and worse. And if they're with a new supply right now, or maybe a new supply, that person is not experiencing anything other than what you experience, but probably at a higher rate of toxicity. Because the narcissist goes through life and they improve and they develop their skills of manipulation and fine-tune their crafts of abuse. That's why the narcissist is so good at gaslighting, at the smear campaign, at triangulation, my least favorite thing these people do, at rage fits, at projection, at mirroring. This is what the narcissist does. Remember, they have a tool belt around their waist, and at any one moment they can pull out any of the weapons they want to and use those on an unsuspecting source of supply, or somebody who hasn't healed, or somebody who is tethered to the narcissist, or somebody who hasn't broken the cycle. Now that isn't you. You're in the community. You're getting the wisdom. You're understanding that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. But the narcissist can't accept that. They can't understand that. They're stuck in that cycle. And what they need to do is they need to go on from one person to the next person, to the next person, looking to elevate their lifestyle, looking to elevate their life and their circumstances, looking to put other people down. You see, it's not you who was, or it is not you who is trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle. You were in it for a period of time. My hope is you're no longer in it and you've gone no contact and blocked these people, etc. And if you can't do that, utilize gray rock, simply become dull and boring, but get off the radar of the narcissist, because what they want to do with you, or what they wanted to do with you, was to keep you trapped in that low vibrational state where they exist. The narcissist cannot elevate on their own. They never have been able to do that since the beginning of humanity, and they won't miraculously be able to do that right now or tomorrow. They need to use people as pawns. They see people as opportunities. They look at people to take from. You see, the narcissist looks at people in the beginning of any relationship virtually, and they figure out who that person is, including their own children, including their spouse, including their romantic interest, their friends, colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, people in communities and or hobby groups or groups you're a part of. They size people up and they figure out rather quickly to themselves, here's what they would say, something like this. That person, they have boundaries, can't get to them. That person, they're as toxic as I am. I want nothing to do with them. That person's actually even worse than I am. I'll stay away from that one. Ooh, who's that? That's a new person. I haven't seen them. Let me figure out what makes them tick. Let me go strike up a conversation with them. And then lo and behold, let's say that person was you. And let's say you're an empath. And let's say you don't know anything about narcissism. Well, right there, you're ripe for the picking. And if that were true, the narcissist did size you up. And they looked at you and said, oh my gosh, you will do perfectly. This will be a feast from the minute we really enter a relationship until the minute I discard you. Or if you are strong enough, you will end it with me, and I won't care because I'll just have another source of supply lined up because they're a dime a dozen to me. But that's what the narcissist did. And when you met them, I can assure you, you were vulnerable. Maybe you just lost a loved one. Maybe you just relocated. Maybe you just started a new business. Maybe you moved. Maybe you just graduated university. Maybe you just had a roommate. Who knows what you did, but something was new to you in your circumstances. And the narcissist took full advantage of this. Let me talk about something which perhaps I usually wouldn't talk about, but just a side note for you. Funerals. When people go to funerals, what do? They commemorate the life of somebody. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go down memory lane and say, wow, that was a good person, or maybe they weren't, but you commemorate them because they've left the planet, and we all will leave the planet one day. Essentially, you're honoring them and you're paying your respects. Many times that's not what the narcissist will do. They will attend the funeral looking for supply, looking for vulnerable and weak people that they can pick, that they can separate from the congregation or the group, and they can say, hey, I know it's rough, we just lost so-and-so, but maybe we could get together after the funeral, or things like that. And when they do that, they're looking to isolate you and to drive a wedge between you and you commemorating that person, but also to try and get close to you, to play on your sympathy and your empathy, because when you were vulnerable in a place of weakness, they swooped in. That is one small example that I've heard more than once during one-on-one sessions, which is how the narcissist looks for weakness in people. Now, when I say weak, I'm not saying you're a weak person. I'm saying when you're vulnerable and you don't know that narcissism is prevalent on the planet, you don't know what you're up against, and that was me, that was you. But going back to the thumbnail, the narcissist, they remain in the cycle. They remain where they are because they can't get out of that loop. The toxicity is in their blood. The toxicity is in their mind. It runs through their veins. It's in their core. And what they want to do, as I mentioned previously, is capture people for a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, a lifetime. They want to keep them trapped and stuck in that devaluation stage. The narcissist wants to live in your mind rent-free. They want you thinking about them. They want you pining for them. They want you thinking about the past, all the great times you had, and all the possibilities of the future, when you know that anything in the future with the narcissist is never going to happen because you have gone no contact. But this is what the narcissist does. Let's talk about a Hoover for a moment. Don't accept a Hoover ever. In a million years, don't accept a Hoover. And you shouldn't even be Hooverable, which means you should have boundaries in place and you should have gone no contact and blocked these people, etc. But let's say you didn't. Well, if the narcissist was trying to Hoover you, or perhaps they are right now, what they're doing is they're testing you to see how strong you are. Did you break the bond? Did you see behind the mask? Did you get the message who they are? Did you understand that this was not your fault? You were manipulated. And will you be able to refuse the Hoover? Now, that's my hope, is that you never, number one, get a Hoover. Number two, accept a Hoover. And number three, you are not Hooverable. But all these things are all the weight and the toxicity of the narcissist. Think about this for a moment, as long as we're on the Hoover. When you ended a romantic relationship or a friendship, whatever it was, with a stable, healthy person, did they ever try to Hoover you and draw you back into your life? Of course they didn't. They just went away and went on to live their life and do whatever they did, and found a soulmate, or well, not a soulmate. They found someone to have a life with, or to do whatever they wanted to do, but they didn't even think about you, just like you didn't think about them. But that's not the narcissist. That's why they rear their ugly heads whenever they can, because they're seeing if you broke the trauma bond. You see, this is a dark energy source that surrounded you, and it engulfed your life for a period of time. It infiltrated your life insidiously. And right when you were vulnerable, they trapped you in that narcissistic fog, and you didn't know what was going on. All you knew is your life was turned upside down, and what you thought was left was right, what you thought was up was down, what you thought was in was out, because anything you said, the narcissist would be discounting what you said. They would be gaslighting you and stonewalling you and blaming you. And the narcissist did not want you to have a voice. They wanted to repress you and your voice, and they wanted you to become a shell of yourself. They wanted you to become an extension of them, which is exactly what you did, because the narcissist had done this before they met you. They did it with you, and I can assure you they're doing it now after the relationship has ended. But the narcissist remains trapped because they can't get out of all the damage that they've inflicted upon their own family members, their own parents, their own children, their own spouses that they've discarded, their friends that have finally figured out who they are, the people that they were in business with, the people that they're in communities and hobby groups with. People are becoming so much more educated on the narcissistic abusive cycle, and they're figuring out that maybe one wasn't firsthand in their life and did damage to them the way that damage was done to you or to me, but there are fringe damages done. Maybe it was their daughter who married the narcissist, and they're realizing, wow, I haven't seen my daughter in 2 years because their spouse, their husband, packed up and moved halfway around the country. Well, that was to isolate the daughter, and it was so you wouldn't be able to see the daughter, so she didn't have a support system. And so now that narcissist, i.e. your son-in-law, now has built-in supply. And if they have kids, you probably aren't seeing the kids because you're being parental or grandparent alienated, because now the narcissist has their fangs into your daughter. That's an example that I hear every single day in one-on-one sessions. The point is that it's the narcissist who's trapped in the cycle, but they want you believing that you need them. You don't need them. You never did need them. You never will need them. It is the trauma bond. It must be broken. It must be thrown away. It must be crushed and devastated and out of your life. Remember, there are 4 ties in the narcissistic relationship that must be taken care of. They must be addressed. And the first one is the emotional ties, second, financial, the third, the physical, and the fourth, the spiritual. All 4 of these ties must be cut. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time, you will do this because that is part of the healing path. You won't heal properly unless you do these things. But again, this is for you. Nobody's going to come knock on your door. No one is going to ask you how you are. No one is going to check in on you. Most people won't even know what narcissism is. So this journey will be challenging, to say the least. It will take you very low. Perhaps you'll even experience the dark night of the soul, one of the most challenging periods of any human's lifetime. But then again, if you did that, it is because you had to lose yourself. You had to figure out that what you once thought was real wasn't. You had to lose yourself to a higher power. And if you've done that, you understand that you're transformed and changed forever. I created a video on that, and let me tell you right now, I would not want to go through the dark night of the soul ever again in my entire life. Once was more than enough for me. But it's the narcissist who remains trapped. They will always remain trapped. Think about how many smartphones they have. Think about why they're always on the go. Think about why they can't sit still. Think about why they were cheating behind you. Think about why they stole your money. Think about why they drove wedges between you and anything that mattered to you, which included your children, your friends, your hobbies, etc., your health, your status. The narcissist was undermining your life right underneath your nose throughout the whole relationship. Now again, this was not your fault. The narcissist infiltrated your life under cloak and dagger. They probably were wearing a mask and manipulating you and assimilating themselves with you and being like-minded because they are better than any Academy Award-winning actor. An actor in Hollywood has nothing on the narcissist, and I mean nothing, because an Academy Award-winning actor had to study the lines and do the inflections and figure out how to talk and how to raise their voice and lower their voice and all these things. To the narcissist, it comes natural. Think about how frightening that is. It comes natural. That's why they don't care about anybody, not even their own kids, not even their own families. They care about nobody but themselves, which is why each and every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. It is always why each and every narcissistic relationship, when it ends, the narcissist just goes on to the new supply, or they're grooming other sources of supply, and they're trying to inflict as much damage to you as possible. And that is why you need to slow your life down and heal. You need to understand this relationship wasn't what you thought it was what it was. And breaking the bond will be a challenge, but you will do it. I did it. If I did it, you can do it. You need to be patient. You need to be stoic. You need to be centered. You need to be calm. You need to be full of fortitude. You need to be full of resilience. And you need to understand that this is the healing path. We all are on the healing path, headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. You may be in front of me. You may be behind me. You may be side by side with me, but we're all looking to climb the mountaintop of indifference, the pinnacle of indifference, where that's where all the abundance opens up for you. That's where all the possibilities arrive in front of you, and that's when you are narcissistic free. Of course, that's when you want no contact, etc. But it's the narcissist who is trapped. Think about when they would go to bed at night. What would they do? They'd usually be on their smartphone or their tablet or their laptop getting sources of supply while they would be telling you they were working. They may have been working a little bit here or there, but what was that chuckle at 3 o'clock in the morning? You look over, the light switch is still on and they're on their computer and they're leaning forward. You tell me what that was, but it wasn't work. Who chuckles at work? Nobody. Work is a job. Supply isn't a job. Supply is what the narcissist needs to regulate themselves. But think about another thing. Think about how effortlessly the narcissist can just go on to new sources of supply, as if your relationship didn't even matter. They can just wipe it clean like that. That's what they do, because they don't care. They never have cared. All they looked at you was an opportunity. That's what they saw in you. And they wanted to hoodwink you, trick you, and trap you, and have you fall in love with them. Remember, the narcissist cannot fall in love with you or anybody. And when they got what they wanted, which was maybe you raised the kids till they became a certain age, or you paid the house off, or you retired, or you got the 401k kicked in, or whatever happened, you got the settlement from the insurance company. Whenever one of those things happen, that's usually when the narcissist says, yep, I've had enough. This mask is getting way too heavy. I need to take it off. I'm going to end it. Goodbye. And they're going to go on to the new supply. Now, I've mentioned the new supply frequently on this video. And again, it's reality. It's what the narcissist does. When you were in the relationship with them, you may have thought that you were the only person in a relationship with them. That was not the case. They have supply at work. They have supply at the grocery store. They have supply when they're on an airplane, a train, an automobile. They have supply when they're at church. They have supply when they're in a hobby group. They have supply when they're walking their dog. They have supply when they're in an elevator. This is the narcissist. They're always looking to disrupt people's energy, and they need supply the way you need to breathe air. Think about what I'm sharing with you. It's the narcissist that is trapped, and they will remain trapped for the rest of the days of their life on the planet because they can't escape. Whatever happened to them when they were younger, and I will go into that in a video one day, they made an arrangement with something, and the arrangement was, yes, I will create destruction and devastation on this planet. I will really cause pain and harm to anyone who I encounter. And yeah, there will be a price to pay at a later date probably, but I won't care about that, because what I'll care about is right here and right now on this planet called Earth, and destroying as many relationships as I can, and blowing up as many relationships as I can, and hoarding and taking as many resources from people as I possibly can. And yeah, maybe there's a price to pay down the road. Maybe there isn't. I'll take my chances. That's what the narcissist says, and they don't care. Remember, the narcissist lives for the moment. They live for the exact moment you're in. And the minute you do something good for them, there will be a punishment because you did it. And if you didn't do it, they will be complaining that you didn't do it. So you can't win with the narcissist. Flip it. An empath, a beautiful, bright, shining light just like you. We live in the present moment. This is why we need to introspect, to heal, to understand, to learn, and to grow, and to get stronger each and every day. Because once we can say no, the strongest word in the English language, and once we do have boundaries in place, the narcissist cannot get to us. They can try, but they can't get to us because we've been through the cycle, and we've come through the fire and risen through the ashes like a phoenix, and we are changed forever. We are in the third version of ourselves, the strongest, most galvanized version known to humankind. It's a place where the narcissist can't even fathom. It's a place where the narcissist can only dream about, but it's a place that a narcissist will never get to because there's no room for them. The narcissist, again, before I close the video, they're a low vibrational energy state. They know it, I know it, and now you know it. So they try to capture your beautiful, bright, shining light. They try to steal everything about you. And they accomplished that for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, but they can't do it any longer because now you have boundaries and you understand you're not trapped. It's the narcissist who's trapped in the cycle, and they were just trying to take you down for the count. Imagine, if you will, and this is going to be a little bit challenging, but I'm going to do it before I close the video. Imagine you're in the middle of the ocean and there's one life raft and you have it, and there's the narcissist swimming next to you, but again, you don't know they're a narcissist yet. What do? You say, come on over here, I'll share the life raft with you. You can jump in, everything's good. And then because you want to save somebody, you want to help them, you can do that because you're beautiful. And what happens? The narcissist, they swim their way over, you get them in the life raft, and what do? They say, wow, that was a close call. They kick you out and they start paddling away. Why do they do that? Because they don't care about other people. For them, there was only room for one in the life raft, and it wasn't you, even though you saved them. They didn't even say thank you. They didn't even look back when they left you in the middle of the ocean. That's what the narcissist does. That's what the narcissist did, and that's what the narcissist will always do. Understand the message. Leave these people in the past. They will vibrate as low as possible. They will never do the right thing. They will never be accountable. They will never apologize, and they will never do anything that doesn't serve them. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you all. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And the last illustration was a little graphic, but that's what these people do. They do it in real life, not just in the middle of the ocean with a life raft. They do it in real life. So I love you all. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.